As I stated earlier, the charge is this: you have sinned against God. Romans chapter 3, verse 23 states, "For all have sinned." The penalty of the charge is spiritual death. Romans 6:23 states, "For the wages of sin is death." This not only means that a person's physical body will die because of sin, but that he will also be eternally separated from God in a place called the lake of fire. Revelations chapter 20, verse 15 states, "And if anyone's name was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire." Upon hearing that the penalty of the charge is eternity in the lake of fire, you might respond this way: "Hold on, Bruce, hold on. We live in an age of science and computers and education. You yourself have a Juris Doctorate. Don't you realize that the concept of an eternal lake of fire is old-fashioned and should be relegated to the shelf with other fairy tales? Besides, how can a truly loving and merciful God, a merciful God, sentence a person to eternal damnation?" You might be thinking, I might have to suffer a little bit for some of my really bad sins, but I don't believe I would be given an eternal death penalty. I should be given probation, or perhaps paroled in a few years. I must admit, this type of reasoning actually sounds very logical and appealing. Unfortunately, millions of people will believe eternal punishment and the lake of fire is a fairy tale, only to realize 2 seconds after their death that they believed a lie. In reality, there is no probation, no chance of parole, no day-for-day good time credit on the penalty that God will impose on those convicted of the charge. With this particular charge, God has no discretion to reduce the length of sentence. There is only one length of sentence that can be imposed, and it is eternal. Matthew chapter 25, verse 46 clearly addresses this point and states, "And these will go away into eternal punishment." In summary, it is true that God is very merciful, loving, and compassionate, but that is just one side of his character. To ignore the other side of God's character is foolish. God is a God of love, and never forget it, but he's also a God of justice. The penalty of the charge is the bad news, but there is good news. And the good news is that God is offering you a plea agreement. In exchange for pleading guilty, God is offering a pardon if certain conditions are met.